The whole idea of doing global source,
Correct.
the whole idea of buying from another region is to, in terms of dollar, or in terms of euro, it will only come when
Correct.
Indian companies will start to produce. Schapenberg, we have offered more than 10,000 components, different components. Then that becomes your core competence. Now here you can attract market in two ways. One who would like to start exporting, he has to understand.
Should people even export? Because a lot of big foundry people today talk about one foundry machine that you wish that foundry should keep in-house.
One foundry machine which every foundry should keep in-house.
Which you just feel like it definitely needs to be in a foundry. If you're a foundry professional, the chances are that your education really only began the moment you stepped foot into a foundry and will never end, because experts say that foundry is a lifelong learning process. And that's why we've created the Foundry School. So here's your once-in-a-lifetime chance to be part of a global community that could be much bigger than ourselves. So join our 30-day trial and kickstart your foundry career today. The link is going to be below in the description, and I'll see you on the inside. And if you make it to the inside, congratulations. Today we have an entrepreneur here who has been with a lot of foundries. He started his foundry journey with Precision Camshaft, with Chorus Foundries, with I think Kaizen Ferrocast, also
Sigma
Electric in Pune. So a lot of foundry experience, and then he started Schapenberg, which is a sourcing agency company which he started in 2017
in Germany. That was
in German-based company, which I think last year hit about 100 plus crores in
we crossed 100 plus crore
in just 7
INR.
years.
Yes,
in 7 years. So that's an amazing journey, and I think you'd like to share your story with
definitely.
us. So welcome on the show, Mr. Nagesh Dhumma.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let us move into your process of founding Schapenberg.
Yeah.
Right. Because at that process, I mean, you were at 2017. It was about 7 years back. Right.
Yes.
So what was going on in your professional life at that time to allow you to move on to starting out on your own? Like, what was your mental process?
My professional life was like I was basically working in such a way that I used to bring a lot of business to India. That is how my career is. Means what? I have joined and I have worked and I am still working with the companies who are not buying anything from India, or who are having less footstep from a best cost country sourcing. They are not buying from Asian countries, or they are not buying from India.
Okay.
So my job is to penetrate them, like to convince them that yes, India or China or Turkey is equivalent good to produce your components.
Correct.
So that was my job, and my partner, who is Mr. Salih Akbash, he is my senior, to be honest, and we used to travel a lot together. So we changed 3 organizations together.
I mean, can we cover that? I was going to ask you, because you were at 3 companies, and then 2 companies.
We worked together in 3 companies, and I think we have traveled around the world like anything. We traveled together more than, I think, more than 1,000, 2,000 days together, to be honest.
Correct.
So our bond is something different. And then one fine day, we decided, okay, the same thing is happening, same processes are there, only the faces are changing, the names are changing, the basic component development, basic sourcing process is same. Then why not to try by our own? That was the thought process. Nothing like we planned it 3 years earlier, no. And once we thought it, we came to know, okay, let's work out. We started to work out because we were having experience of sourcing, we were knowing the field. So it took just 3-4 months for us to write down everything and make the decision.
Correct. So he, I believe, is stationed in Germany.
He is stationed in Germany. My companies, both the companies are registered in Germany.
Correct.
And we both are partners. So he is 50% stakeholder, I am 50% stakeholder. And it's running well. Although the distance is 7,000 kilometers, every day we have our calls. And it's more like a family now. It's not a partnership, or it's not like something.
So when you started out, what was the main activity, the main core activity you focused on?
See, core activity we focused on to acquire customers, and customer acquisition was a never easy process. It's not like that people in Germany are sitting on the RFQs and they will welcome you, and if you quote, you will immediately start. People will agree, you will also agree that if you compare Europe and US, Europe is extremely slower. They take hell of a time to get developed, and to win the trust to be in the race is very hard. So what you have to do is you have to just keep on trying. We still, I can say, our hit ratio is much more better as compared to the normal trading companies. So I can say we have now completed more than 1500 quotes, and in
1500 codes.
1500 projects.
Okay.
In some of the projects we used to have 300 positions. So I think as a Schapenberg we have offered more than 10,000 components, different components, and the winning rate is less than 10%. So in our case of business, even if you are winning 1% project, it is considered as a best strike rate. So we are much more better than our
So that means
competitors.
it's also a lot of hits.
Yeah, for sure,
lot of hits,
for sure.
right.
And it goes on like you start the discussion points, and till the time you
Correct.
get the purchase order, it's also sometimes 2 year span, 3 year span, 1.5 year span.
Because these are large OEMs that we're talking about.
Large OEMs, mid-size OEMs, your customer has to get a confidence that you are a reliable partner for him, not only in terms of supply but also in terms of product development and costing. And see, Europe is not looking short term. Whenever they find a partner for
Correct.
for themselves,
Correct.
it's like they think from all the aspects. They think from your technical aspects, how you are constituted, where are you located, what are
Correct.
your strength, what can bring you wrong, what can go wrong with you. So all those types of checks, it takes time, to be honest.
Correct. So what is your framework for getting a customer? Like what I would do back in the days, I would make a sample immediately and put it on the customer's table, and that would get me the order. Like, is there a similar step you follow?
Exactly, but that won't work in most of the cases, because see, we are dealing with most of the time the components which are tool related. Like,
Okay.
you have to manufacture the tool. If you are in machining component, or if you are in a standard component, if you are giving catalog products or consumable products
Correct.
which are used also in aftermarket, then this strategy would work. But we are in engineering business, wherein the component is either being developed or already developed with the tool. So there we go with the feasibility, we go with the detailed study from our side. So giving the roughly only the quotation will not keep me aside, because we might have the quotation or the price
Correct.
from 10, 15 other companies. But what makes my offer different is my technical study which I give along with my offer. That okay, and most of my customers which we are having right now, those are not typically the buying customers of the same commodity. Means what, he asked for fabricated component, we converted it into an investment casting, and he liked the approach, he liked the ideas, the cost was better for him, the design was better for him, and then we gave a try. So
Right.
that way the relationships has been started.
So would I be right in saying that as a procurement firm, you're not only bringing low cost to the table, but you're also bringing your consultancy, your experience over so many years?
Otherwise we will not get business.
Right.
If we are just playing with the cost, because you have to understand that we are not big scale manufacturer, wherein we as the numbers grow, if your costs are on a higher level, then to be honest nobody will come to you. The whole idea of doing global sourcing,
Correct.
the whole idea of buying from another a region, is to save the cost at the same quality or at the higher quality with having no risk. That
Correct.
is fundamentally the requirement. So once the buyer will come to you only when these conditions are fulfilled, and to fulfill his conditions you have to prove that how you are cheaper, yes, for one case. Secondly, you have to show him that how reliable you are, because nobody will believe you, because most of the time the person who is working, he is coming from a different background, coming from a different cultural behavior. So the way in which he is doing business is completely different.
Correct.
He might have never seen your factory. So it takes a lot of time to build the trust.
We had a very big sourcing agent on the podcast recently, and I think they go into such depths where they ask for the balance sheet of the company they're buying from. They ask for the bank accounts. They want to see the stability.
No, that we don't do. Like if I'm telling you like how my suppliers are coming,
Correct.
to be honest, while selecting the
No, but
supplier,
what about your customers? Is this something that they ask for?
they
The
no, they don't
financials?
ask it. They get automatically, because my company is a private limited company.
Okay, so
We
that's
are
publicly available.
exactly my company. That's why we started with private limited. We in
More
Germany when
transparent.
we started, we were having some points which we were knowing that what buyer is going to ask, because
Correct.
our role was on the other side of the table. We used to buy casting, so
Correct.
we know what a European customer is expecting. So, like the first term, the constitution should be like GmbH,
Right.
and the constitution should be very open. Secondly, you should have all the insurances, the product liability insurance, product recall insurance, and that too worldwide. So from the day one, all these mandatory things we have. So most of the companies in Europe, they don't ask you, they check directly. They have the possibility that if you are a German company, you can check records of a German company,
Correct.
and that makes them very comfortable. Because they see the selling company is not an Indian company. The selling company is a private limited registered company in Germany.
Correct.
So that so the starting point is 10 meters ahead, like this.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I wanted to recount exactly what was the first 2 years like. Like go through that starting period of Schapenberg with me.
Yeah, starting period of Schapenberg was really interesting, to be honest, because what we have observed at that time is, to be honest, our current customer, they supported us a lot. They said, yeah, okay, you continue the job which you are doing, but as a consultant. So that job I'm still continuing. I would I would refer to them like Swing. Swing, we are really thankful, because that is how it started. And the chief of the purchasing officer, I would really take his name, Mr. Daniel Newman. I am really thankful to him for all his trust at the initial level also, and still we are continuing with that. So that was one, I think, one of the key support which we got.
Correct.
And parallelly, what happened is, wherever we used to penetrate with, like if the requirement of the effort is 10, we used to penetrate with the effort of 100.
Okay.
For an example, I will tell you, if you are getting an RFQ for a simple pin, just an OD ID, and simple pin is like OD and length and quenched and tempered pin. But we used to give all the details, like how we will be manufacturing, what will be the process, what will be our process flow, how we will be controlling it, how we will be packing it, and all this we used to submit along with the quotation.
Okay.
So even though our costs were up or low, but actually the person who is above, purchasing guy or purchasing person, he used to see, okay, Schapenberg has given something different.
Correct.
The quotation format is completely different. So if we used to get an RFQ in fabrication, we used to give options like, okay, what could be the cost of fabrication, what could be the cost of casting, what could be the cost of forging, or what
Correct.
could be the cost if we make it from machining. And then, as we have, as again said to you, that we were also on the other side of the table. Like, we have sold the casting, we have purchased the casting, we have sold the engineering product, we have purchased the engineering product, and that too we have done it in the same
So you know what the
European.
buyer's mentality is as well.
Exactly, we
Right.
know what buyer is looking for, or mostly what are the areas where he is having pain, and how we can support them.
Correct.
So initially, those years, I can say you, we penetrated a lot. Every customer who was able to give us an RFQ, he used to get answers. He used to get very quickly quotations within same day or next day. He used to get an offer from our side. So that way we started to penetrate.
Okay.
And yeah, thanks to my partner, he was doing and he's still doing a good sales job, I can
Correct.
say.
Correct. I think what you said is also very powerful, because for most people who might overlook this part of your journey, you were trying to stand out in a very competitive journey. You were trying to do things that other people would not do, like provide an entire report of the packaging, of the process control and everything beforehand, so that way you would stand out from your competitors' quotes. I think that
Exactly.
is something that really sets
And
you guys apart.
it happens like, sometimes it used to be very strange that we used to find out some mistakes in the drawings,
Okay.
like customers mistake in the drawing, and we used to highlight it. And then buyer used to get, oh, okay, my drawings are not right,
Right.
but I am getting this part right now. Then the discussion used to start. Who highlighted it? Company Schapenberg. Okay, who are these people? Let's have a discussion with
Right,
them.
right, right.
May not be in this project, but at least, we made sure that these people remember our name. And it happens, like my partner always tells me, that he used to chase some of the OEMs for 2 years, 3 years. And whenever they used to have some critical project, they came back to us.
Okay.
That they said, yeah, Mr. Akbash,
Yeah,
we
let's
remember
bring
you.
in the experts.
We remember you
Right,
2 years back. You had
Right.
quoted for this project. Now
Right.
we have some other project like this. And yeah, thanks God, we are also right now doing the same. Today also methodology is same, the activities are not changed, and the efforts are also on a similar level.
Correct.
So today also we, even if the project is 100 euros worth,
Right.
we still quote. We don't say it's too less, we will not quote. So we make the offer even if somebody is asking two components. We make the offer even if somebody is asking 2 million components.
Correct. So now looking back on your 7 years, what do you think the biggest success of your career has been?
Biggest success I can say is we made this journey because of our trust. I can say trust on the customers, trust between us, and trust on our suppliers. See, we have seen a lot of ups and downs within these 7 years. We have seen areas wherein the parts used to be on our stock for 1 year.
Okay.
We have seen within this that the orders were very high, all of a sudden it got zero. We have seen all of a sudden customer told us, no, 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 you are very competitive, very costly, we are having second supplier. So every water we are washed with now.
Correct.
And what was our major success was not one or two cases, but we kept patience. We kept waiting for the right time for right actions, and the most important is we didn't lose our trust in between.
But what I'm really getting at is, was there like a certain part or maybe customer win or maybe some sort of order that really was your break, in the last
I
seven
count
years?
every customer as a break.
Okay.
Why? I will tell you. Because once you see OEMs, because we are mostly dealing with OEMs.
Right.
Every OEM is a big potential for us. So we have some of the customers wherein we started with invoicing of 30 euro, invoicing of 40 euro, and now we are doing multiple folds with them. So the customers which are with us more than 3 years, those are not like they started with this big basket.
Correct.
They started with okay big RFQ, but they will start with one or two parts and slowly get developed.
Correct.
So that is typical in Europe.
So you can't, like, there's no pinpoint into one particular
No,
break.
no,
It's
no,
been like
and
steady
no
and linear.
sector. See,
Okay.
as you are a generic company, any casting company, any forging company is more or a generic nature. They cannot say that okay, I will not manufacture the casting for material handling, or they cannot say that I will not manufacture the casting for automobile or.
Correct.
So the manufacturing setup is generic. Hence, you can serve to multiple sectors.
Correct.
So every sector, every customer is a good potential. You don't know whom you are dealing, what will be the change, and what will be the volumes within.
I mean, also on the flip side, I want to ask you, what are some mistakes you made in year one and two that?
Mistakes, a lot of mistakes to be honest, and that too very heavy mistakes. We were also overconfident in some cases, wherein we end up with uh, offering some material grades which we were not having experience in.
Okay.
We underestimated the requirement. We thought, yeah, okay, somebody would manufacture it.
Correct.
Then we overpromised sometimes, overpromised of the lead time specifically, made air freights because of that. We overpromised capacities. So all types of mistakes. As I've said, we have been worked with many waters.
I think
So
promising is generally a problem when you start out. Do you think you can do everything and that really?
yeah, exactly.
Right.
You when you are starting, there are two options. Like either you lose it. For an example, if suppose my capacity is 100 today, and I am starting a company, let's understand my capacity is 100 today, and out of that 100, 30 is booked, so 70 is vacant, and somebody is coming saying to me, okay, I need in range of 100 to 125.
Correct.
Now you have an option, like you say no, and you say yes, I will manage. If you manage, it becomes success story. If you don't manage, it becomes failure story.
Correct.
But you still learn from it, and as I've said to you, the mistakes happens. We have made even mistakes while doing calculations, like okay, some silly mistakes also I have made, wherein you, rather than taking the weight multiplied by price per kg, I have just taken price per kg.
Okay.
So if the casting weight is 8 kgs, I have taken the price in calculation only for 1 kg.
Correct.
And then the quotation was really good. Order came, and then we were
You realize there's some problem here.
We realized some problem. So
Right.
that
How do you recover from those though? Do you go back to the
We
customer?
go
You
back
say,
to
okay,
we go back to the customer, and mostly the customers,
it's forgiving.
most customers,
It's forgiving.
either they are accepting or they are saying, okay, we don't
Correct.
want to start.
That's
But
good.
yes, mistake happens. To err is a human, so mistakes won't stop you.
Correct.
And as I said, these mistakes, you should, whatever mistake used to happen, we learn from that, and we have our systems wherein we take care that what happens earlier is not getting repeated. So I can say within this last 7 years, most of the mistakes we have not repeated. That is one of the good things which we have.
Right. Okay. So I want to go now into your process for development. Say you get an RFQ today.
Yes.
What starts immediately? What do you do right this second?
Most of the time, once we get the RFQ, to be honest, we do calculations by our own. So
Okay.
I am able to do calculations, cost calculations by my own, and that sets apart Schapenberg from other companies. So I am able to calculate the prices for the casting.
Correct.
It's not precisely, but it is better. It is a good on a good level wherein I can make an offer to the customer.
Okay. Without going to a supplier and coming back. And
We
I think that is why you get the speed.
that's why our case is like this, that I don't go as per a traditional companies wherein they give you an RFQ, you quote it, then they will add up their margin, and then they will go to the customer, and then they will come back to you. No, it's
Correct.
my case is reverse. Once I give you an RFQ, be sure that there is a business behind. So most of my, as I've said, to my customer base is since 2007, 2009, 10. All of them whom I'm working are more than 8, 10 years.
Correct.
So they know that, okay, whenever I'm sending RFQ, it's 100% hit
Right.
rate.
So when they get a mail from Mr. Nagesh Dhumma, they know like,
It's-
oh, you better quote immediately because it's good.
Yeah, it's as I said. Otherwise,
Right.
it's not a fun, because you have to understand that making an offer is a cost basically, for all sort of industries. And if suppose there is a foundry, as I will give you a simple example. You also run a foundry. For an example, if there is a customer who is just sending you an RFQs,
Correct.
over the year you have received 6 7 RFQs but nothing worked out, to be honest, you will never quote him, or you will get frustrated, and you will say, hey, what's going on? I'm just giving you an offer, but it is not turning out. Now there is a second case wherein you give the offer, he is at least coming back to you and saying, okay, this is working, this is not working, still you will continue working with him.
Correct.
And there is a third case wherein he is saying, okay, this is my business case, give me the offer. The first offer is accepted, second offer is accepted. At the third RFQ, he is saying, okay, Ian, this is my project with the target cost, accept it, we will start. So you will work with more with the third one, because your turnaround is very easy. You are not investing your efforts to make the calculation. So the offers which we are making are actually not free offers. Means there is
Investment of
hidden,
time.
exactly,
Right.
there is a hidden cost behind.
Right.
So you should
Correct.
not squeeze your suppliers to give so many offers and working out nothing. Then, to be honest, it's not on a good level.
Correct. So another flip side to that question: how do you evaluate a foundry to work with? Like what are your
Exactly.
criteria?
See,
Just give me maybe 3 important criteria that you can.
Three important criteria is
The most 3 important.
the most important is people behind the founder.
Okay.
That is first criteria. Why, I will tell you now. The same I have explained also many times. We are really thankful to all these OEMs like Mahindra, Tata, Daimler, Ford,
Correct.
IATF, because they do 90% of our job. So we need not to go and ask for the foundry, are you doing calibration? Because there is somebody who is taking care of this.
Correct.
So if you see a foundry is certified by IATF 16949, you know that, okay, these people understand control plan, these people understand FMEA. So no need to go in that direction. So my supplier selection criteria are very simple. The first is, I would like to see the faces behind the business, because one project you can earn money, one project you can lose money, one project you can grow very high, one project you can make losses.
Correct.
And the partnership is never one project journey. The partnership is always for long term. So the first 3 criteria are asked. So the first criteria is I would like to see who is
Right.
behind the business.
Right. That's one.
What is his way of thinking and what he believes in, because a person's belief system becomes his behavior. and his behavior becomes his business.
Okay.
So if a person is believing in long term, believing in partnerships, believing in growing together, take it from me, it will
It's
be
very
very easy
interlinked to him.
for you
Right.
to cope up with him and do business. So the first criteria is this one, and the second criteria is what is the basic infrastructure.
Okay.
Is it at your requirement? I'm not saying that when you, it's just like a cooking. When you start cooking, you are not looking for 100% ingredients, it should be there as it is, no. Or when you are doing some, if an artist is starting an art, so basic infrastructure, like at least he should have the minimum required, whatever is required he should have.
So what is the requirement? Like say for a
For
steel foundry or cast iron
steel
foundry.
casting, now for an example, if steel casting is very generic term, let's say, let's understand a general engineering steel casting having a medium requirement. Then if he has induction furnace, if he has a no bake molding, if he has in-house non-destructive testing, quenching and heat treatment he can do outside.
Right.
Machining, if he has in-house, it's fine, if not, no.
Right.
So that's
So
it.
you don't work with anyone who doesn't have their own machine shop.
No. I don't have any limitations. Machine
Okay.
shop, my most of the suppliers, they didn't had anything when they started.
Okay.
So even if he is getting machined from outside, we
Right.
don't have any problem.
It's still fine. So
Yeah,
that was what induction furnace, no bake molding
for the
NDT,
steel casting.
for the steel casting.
For the steel casting. So as I said, if the basic infrastructure is okay to go ahead, then we started.
How much importance do you place on cleanliness?
Cleanliness in terms of foundry is different. Cleanliness in terms of machine shop is different.
Okay.
And cleanliness in terms of forging is different.
So
So
let's just say
cleanliness
machine
is
shop.
not only the tightness. Cleanliness is how you arrange the things.
Okay.
Like for an example, in a foundry, what is a clean foundry? A clean foundry is not like a dust-free foundry. Okay, there are some foundries which are completely dust-free. But if your foundry is nicely arranged, your molding area has all the tools arranged nicely, so it will be a really added advantage because it will reduce your mistakes.
Correct. Do you also gauge the culture of a foundry by talking to employees, talking to shop floor workers? Is that something you actively do?
Okay, now I will tell you that most of the time at the initial level we discuss with the owners, but on day-to-day operations we hardly discuss with owners. We directly discuss with the supervisors, middle management, and there we get the quick results. There we get very fast responses, and that helps us a lot. So as I said to you, the third important was how the people are behind, and the third criteria which you asked is who are the people working on.
Okay. So
I have
that was number three.
that was number three, because most of the time you can have a very good technology, you
Correct.
can have very good sophisticated machine, but if your people are not disciplined, or if your people are not having attitude to take care of that technology, then you will perform lower than who is not having that technology. For an example, if I am having very high precision vertical machining center, and one is not having so much sophisticated vertical machining center, but the programmer, the setter, the operator itself, the fixture designer, in the second example, is much more experienced, much more keen about the requirement. Take it from me, even though his machine is local one, even though his machine is older one, you will get much more better and consistent result.
Okay.
And that is what we have proven. See, all my customers who comes to India, who sees the infrastructure of Indian company, they get positively shocked. They get positively shocked because the level of automation, the level of machines are lagging behind. Let's be very honest with
Right.
you. It's not like if you compare the technology which is available in India and which is available in Europe specifically, it is, in some foundries it is at par.
Correct.
Some Indian foundries are having, or some Indian companies are having same infrastructure like Europe, but on a generic term, it is on a lower level. But the products are not on a lower quality level. Most of the time, we and Indian foundries take more care about the product. So that's why I said the third is the team, and then commercials and everything. Once you are across the table, and once you both are deciding that yes, we both have to earn money out of this, it works. Simple.
That's great. So
Yeah.
that's your three criteria.
Yeah.
Amazing. So do you have an example of a very complex casting that you worked in the past, which was absolutely a nightmare for you. You used to wake up in the middle of the night and you're not sure how this casting would get developed. So what was, give me an example of that part. If possible, hopefully we can show photos of it, how complex or something it was. Like, what was that struggle like?
Yeah, the complexity was basically, I can say you, it was for an agricultural company,
Okay.
and they came to us and they said us that yes, these are the set of the component. It fits in one and one another. Like it was six components. Unfortunately, I cannot show you that, and that
So
was
unfortunately, guys, you can't share a photo.
photo. No.
Anyway, but I think you can recount the story.
Yeah, so the story was like this, that they said yes, we have to show it in an exhibition, and yeah, we are developing this firstly, so we want it as a set, and the timeline was 1 year.
Okay.
So we thought, okay, gray iron component machining, 1 year is more than enough, as an, the Indian speed.
And it was gray iron.
Yeah, gray iron.
Okay.
We thought 1 year is not so long, no,
Correct.
not so short. 1 year we
What year,
aram
of,
se kar lenge.
what year of business were you in at this time? How many years after 2017?
3 years.
So this was what, 2020?
20.
Okay.
And so we said, okay, we started. 5 components got developed very properly. The biggest component, it was like a nightmare, to be honest.
Okay.
My supplier tried, my first supplier tried, machining we tried. The sample we sent was completely non-usable. Then my supplier, he said, yeah, these are my limitations, how we can change the process. So fortunately, as I said to you, the good network was there. So one of other supplier, he supported me very well. We immediately made new pattern. So that was like a nightmare. Like every second day we used to have a call.
Right.
Every second day we used to make pictures. We used to show the progress. So, but once that was done, to
Yeah.
be honest, it was good.
So it finally
Finally,
it was
went
finally
very
successful.
well. And the
It's good.
challenges are always there.
Right.
There is not a single month wherein you say that, yeah, it's a relaxed month.
It's good to see that you all did not give up with the struggle.
No, otherwise, see, I can give you a lot of examples wherein my average product development time is 2 years. So, whatever products we are right now enjoying,
Correct.
my suppliers and myself, the average development cycle is 2 years. And hence my regular customers, regular suppliers, they all know that yes, although we are talking, but it will take a ramp up time will be 2 years. So from today, if you start,
Correct.
to get it completely in a ramped up condition, completely starting the serial deliveries, it will take 1.5 year to 2 year on an average.
And this is something that even the OEMs expect, right? I think you were told us at the B2B meet, like the start of development to actual production takes about 2 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that is how it is.
Yeah. And if someone is saying we are faster, yeah, then appreciate it really.
That's great. So, because you're doing so much of development and you're also coming across so many different RFQs, and I don't think you have a niche, right? You take on general engineering products all over the place. So, have you seen the rise of 3D printing adoption in castings? Like, what is your experience on that?
Yeah, 3D printing, definitely. See, these technologies are there and people are using them, and these are helpful, to be honest. But you can beat it on the other way level, like cost of getting 3D printed product in Europe can be higher than cost of getting the component with the tooling itself in India.
Okay.
So if you ask me, is 3D printing and modern additive technologies are important, I will say yes, for sure. They are important. They are giving lot of good components. One you can see, they are able to make the components which are completely not feasible with typical manufacturing processor. So, but as I said to you, in that area we are not entering much more. Why? You will ask me, because getting something in those areas from India or to a matured economy, most of the time we are not competitive.
Okay.
Our cost will come very higher.
But aren't any foundries you're working with using 3D printing technology in their processes?
To be honest, no.
Okay. Neither, not sand printing, not polymer printing for patterns, nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Any reason that you can observe as to why this is happening?
Because normal manufacturing processes are much more cheaper.
Okay. So it's
And
still
as
not caught on yet.
yeah, no.
Right, right. All right. So I think we talked about this a little bit, but how important is automation, which is coming into foundries for your sourcing? Like, do you actually, when you look at a foundry, do you see like, okay, they are adopting a certain level of automation? Maybe they are having a little problem with their manpower. So how important is this for you as a person looking to source from a foundry?
Yeah, exactly. See, automation, if you are looking for, again, what you are looking as a sourcing guy, if you are looking for a component wherein your demands are extremely higher side, where your demand are consistently for next 4 or 5 years on a such a way that yes, you can afford the automation, then you should look for it.
Okay.
If suppose your demands are on a moderate level or lower level, then you should leave the decision to the foundry itself. You cannot be the decision maker of a
For their
manufacturer
process. Yeah, yeah.
to their
Correct.
processes.
Correct.
For an example, if my supplier is saying that yes,
Correct.
I am able to fettle 1000 castings per day manually, I'm okay with this.
Right.
If he is saying no, I would like to go for automation, automatic fettling for 200 numbers because that is easy for me, completely his decision. Now, as far as selection is coming, if suppose what I am looking for example, my component is very high number requirement component, then definitely I will select a supplier who is having automation. I will not go for a manual one.
Correct.
But if my demands are moderate, if my demands are on a lower level, then I will not insist on the requirement which are not needed. This is one part of selecting the supplier. Now, the secondly, what would be the actual level of automation and how it should be? See, I can say you, Indian foundries are very smart in this case. Those who are in the business, they understand this automation. They are investing at a right area. They are not just making it okay. I have to do automation. That's why they are behind it. No, the companies who are investing in automatic mold handling, for an example, they know that okay, even though customer is there or not, customer is paying or not, they are doing those types of automation. So as the foundry is in a generic production process, if the automation is a generic process level automation, then it will definitely helping you.
Correct.
For example, your mold transfer for from say pouring out to the knockout area, if it is automated one, it will help you. But rather than having a one typical component machined with a robotic arm, then you are dependent on the component level.
Correct.
Then you are then your whole
Right.
ROI whole system becomes dependent on someone. But if you are investing in automation, investing in reduction of lead times on your normal production steps, for example, primer coating, if you are doing automation for primer coating, you are going to get benefit because
Correct.
it is going to be used for everything.
Every casting is going through that
Everything,
process. Right.
everything,
Right.
exactly.
Right. That's great. So I think just some follow-up questions here. Uh, what role does documentation and traceability play today? Like, are you, because since you are exporting, traceability is a big problem, that was a big problem in the last 10 years also. Is it getting better, and how do you enforce
To
traceability?
be as I said to you, to be honest, whoever are the suppliers nowadays, they are first of all taking care by their own in traceability. Most of the time we have found that all the foundries, all the forging companies are adopting the traceabilities which are much enough to make the part traceable. If not, we just have to train them little bit.
Okay.
But the way of like I can say you the laser marking for an example, it's no more hi-fi thing nowadays. If you go to any normal machine shop, he has a laser marking, dot matrix printing on the component. So these things are becoming very normal. Heat code system. Every foundry, if you go, he will has his own heat code system. So traceability is much more important not only in international business, it's also domestically important. And the one who are following it up will have much more ease
Correct.
in optimization and controlling the production. Regarding documentation, yes, there are two ways of documentation. Documentation for the sake of documentation will not help you. If your documentation is analyzed, discussed, need not to be on a soft copy, need not to be on on the way of like very hi-fi digital gadgets. But if your documentation within the production process is analyzed internally, it will definitely help. The same way, like we are doing some analysis internally on our tracking systems, on our packagings, on our transportation type. Those are our internal analysis, which we are not sharing with the customer.
Correct.
And I am not expecting a manufacturing company like forging, foundry, they should share all their internal data with all the customers. No, it's not needed. But you should have at least your internal data. Look, most of the companies, if you go to any foundry producing more than 500 ton, he will have his OEM customer. The OEM will be like a car manufacturer or a tractor manufacturer.
Correct.
Every OEM is working on KPIs. They have their own KPI. They have their own supplier performances, and the same should be adopted by the foundry. Like they should have their own management review meetings. They
Correct.
should have their own process KPIs, because that is the way only you are able to win and you are able to make more money. Otherwise, not.
Correct. So, what is your outlook on India as a sourcing hub for the world? Because everybody is very bullish on it. Do you have the same opinion, or does your opinion
I have,
differ?
I have the same opinion, but I have one more thing is somewhere it has to stop. Why? I will tell you. Right now, India manufacturing is contributing 3% of the world manufacturing, just 3%.
Okay.
China is more than 40%. US is there. Countries like Germany are much more double digit. So although we are the one of the biggest nation, we are contributing 3%,
Just 3%.
just 3%, and those are the data from World Economic Forum. So it's not my data.
Correct.
Now, why this is happening is, on one hand, we are really good in manufacturing. We can manufacture everything.
Correct.
But on the other hand, we are losing the focus of having our own products. So now imagine companies, I have seen many companies in Europe, slowly they are closing their productions. They are just giving everything to the outsiders, getting manufactured from them, even getting assembled from them, even getting labeled from them, and just do sales, service, design.
And
So
quality control.
exactly. So the way increasing your value is, yes, definitely you will produce more number, you will produce on a higher quantum. So India's production numbers will increase for sure. There will be no decrease in Indian manufacturing companies. Manufacturing will see the growth for sure. But the growth in terms of value, the growth in terms of contribution to the in terms of dollar, it or in terms of euro, it will only come when
Correct.
Indian companies will start to produce their own products, own end products. So that will help. Like for an example, you take any industries or any companies wherein you will see a lot of transmission companies for highway vehicle. And again, I'm saying the most of the time the Indian foundries, mostly they are concentrated around automobile, but there is a lot more than automobile.
Correct.
So if you take construction companies, a lot of construction companies, they get a lot of components from Indian foundries, and you see at the end of the day what type of product they are manufacturing. The same product we can also manufacture.
Correct.
So we are growing, no doubt on that, but our growth is also benefiting others. So if you travel from one place to another, for an example, if you are traveling from one end of Pune to other end of Pune, you will see a lot of construction going on. And just count how many foreign machines are there. Why not Indian brands over there?
Correct. You were just talking about Shin setup.
Exactly.
Right.
Are we not able to make castings? Are we not able to make machining? Are we not able to design hydraulics? Are we not able to design those types of equipments? We are completely capable, and I'm very happy that most of the companies have started.
Correct.
There are a lot of
Foreign
Indian brands
integration.
now.
Right.
There are a lot of Indian companies now. But again, the rate at which it is coming is lesser.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think in closing, there are many foundries watching this who would like to export, right? Not start their own exporting firm, but at least export their castings. So what do you think, like maybe a 3-step framework is so that they could get started?
Yeah, see, export and domestic business. First of all, as I have said, the export should be done in area where you are the best one.
Okay.
Like if I am able to produce one type of casting, even though my process, my setup is generic, but there is a skill set of my team, of my people. For an example, I am very good at producing X type of casting. I am let's say give an example. I am very good at producing, say, cylinder heads. I am very good at producing electric motors. I am very good at producing, say, hydraulic component. These three I have
Correct.
just given as a generic. Or I am very good at producing at a ground engaging tooth or pump casings, like these types of things. Then that becomes your core competence. Now here you can attract market in two ways. One, you can give some value proposition. You can do something which is very harder for others. There you will get very huge margin. There you will get customers. So that is called as a differentiation. Or you produce in such a cheaper way that people are forced to buy from you. So these are the only two ways. And third thing is, the most important way of getting to the export is, export do not needs any out of the box requirements. There are no out of the box requirements like export needs this only. No, it's not like this. And one who would like to start exporting, he has to understand the requirement of the market. He has to visit the market, go to the exhibitions,
Correct.
go to the fairs. Don't go to GIFA, for an example,
Correct.
to buy buyers, because
Correct.
you will not get the buyers in GIFA.
Right.
You will get buyers in Agritechnica. You will get buyers
Depending
in
on what
Bauma.
industry. Correct.
Exactly. You will
Right.
get the buyers in transportation fairs.
Correct.
So those types of fairs you should attend. First, watch the environment, how it is, who lives what, and don't be afraid to sell your products. What's wrong? He will just say no.
Correct.
Nothing more than that he can say.
So I think a follow-up question to that is, should people even export? Because a lot of big foundry people today talk about India's large domestic market. Should foundries even want to export? Like why what is the incentive in exporting?
In B2B meeting, I have started my discussion with one topic, that if you are not making more profit than domestic, don't export. If
Right.
you are making more profits in export, then only export. And most of the export gives you better margin than domestic. That's
Right.
for sure. And again, I have said, it's up to individual strategy. It's up
Correct.
to individual company, individual owners, who has to make a call whether I will export or I will make a domestic. It's up to him,
Up to them.
up to his experience and up to his network, I can say, what
Correct.
he has reached. So some companies are exactly reverse. They are just doing 10-20% of domestic sale just to be sure, or just to keep something on local level, so that whenever there is something in international market, they
At
can
least something is going on.
something is going
Right.
on.
So, what advice would you give foundries who are looking to take on more international clients? Like, say, a foundry has decided, I want to go in the export route. So, what advice would you give them in sort of securing orders, in marketing? What is that process like?
Yeah, marketing, first of all, the advice which I would like to give to them is, unless and until you studied the product, don't quote for it. So if you are not clear on the product requirement, because most of the time, when you are seeing some other drawings, there are some requirements which are very normal one sentence requirements in the drawing, which can make an impact of 10%, 20% on the cost. So if you are not clear on the requirement, don't offer. Second advice, don't shy to ask questions. Like, if you say, okay, how can I ask him, be very clear. Nowadays emails are there. You can make a lot of web meetings.
Do
No
they, do
need
they
to.
still print that on the drawing? If in doubt, ask.
Some of them, but some of them are not.
Some of them
And
don't.
the drawings, as I've said to you, okay, if there is something like paint specification as according to our factory standard XYZ. So if you don't know this factory standard, you don't know the paint specification, and
Correct.
that can have a big impact on your costing.
Right.
So the first advice is, don't quote unless and until you understand. Second, don't hesitate to ask. And third, don't quote just to enter the race.
Right.
So don't say, okay, I will just quote, I will give the
Correct.
lesser price and then I will cope up. Okay, it's your business decision. But most of the time, when I used to buy the casting, when I'm still doing it, because uh, if I see very low price, then also I get insecure. Why such a low price? Because all the OEMs, all the companies, most of the time they have now their casting experts. These people know general level of the product costing from,
Correct.
and there are a lot of research institutes.
Correct.
There are a lot of data available wherein they can predict your average price.
Right. So I want to touch on this very very big macro topic coming up. So what do you think the implication of CBAM is going to have on Schapenberg in the future?
Yeah, CBAM, to be honest, we have to be ready on that. And right now, it is not. It is not affecting much more. But slowly, it will start to affect. And initially, it will affect in tune of 0.5% to 2.5% of the product costing. And as the volumes will get bigger and bigger, these will start impacting. And I am seeing most of the foundries, most of the forging shop, most of the machine shops have already started to take efforts on this. And also there is a lot of things going on our ministerial level, wherein they say that okay, the CBAM has to be set off within India. So these types of things people are working, and hence I am less worried on it.
Correct.
So yeah, but if you say that okay, I will not go ahead with CBAM, then you are going against the flow. So you have to continue with the flow. You have to see wherein you can do the green energy, how you can reduce, how you can recycle, how you are able to reduce your carbon footprint, whatever is possible, and at what level and what cost. Most of the time, if suppose uh, getting just a carbon reduction, like, and getting something at a very high cost, also not advised.
Correct.
Mm.
How does that affect your business, but because you will be evaluating suppliers, is that how it works?
Yeah, we will
Okay.
be taking the reports, and
Okay.
based on that, we are able to calculate on an average. Right now, the methodology is on the standard term, so we are calculating how much is the effect,
Right.
and that data we are submitting.
Correct.
Yet not we are nobody is paying till today, but maybe in short term they will start charging you.
That's good.
Yeah,
All right. A few rapid fire questions which I haven't shared with you prior.
yeah, please.
So the only catch is you have to answer them in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Right?
Okay.
He has 5 seconds to answer them.
Okay.
Right. So sand casting or investment casting? What is the future?
Both.
Okay, that's a good one.
No,
I
because
won't get into why, but
yeah, again, I am saying
both have their place.
no technology, no manufacturing method is perfect for anything. As I know that once you know something better, for an example, if you are knowing casting better, you start everything against forging.
Okay.
Once you start knowing forging better, you start everything against
It
casting.
becomes
So
like a self bias. Right?
exactly, so it says that when you know hammer well, everything seems to be like nail, but it's not like that. Sand casting has its own advantages, investment casting has its own advantages, and I am one who is going ahead with both.
Okay, so that's why both. All right. Export to Germany or USA, which is more painful?
Painful in terms of
Just which is harder to start?
harder to start Germany,
Germany. All right.
harder to retain US.
Oh, that's good. That's a lot. That
Yeah,
says a lot.
because in US business, it starts very quickly, it can go down very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is a bigger sourcing headache for you? Okay, price, quality, or timeline?
Timeline.
Delivery timeline. Right.
Timeline.
I expected that one. All right. What is more stressful? Either the order negotiation or the order completion?
Order completion.
That goes with the timeline. Right. What is one foundry machine you wish that all foundries should just have in-house?
One foundry.
One foundry machine that you wish that foundries should keep in-house.
One foundry machine which every foundry should keep in-house.
Which you just feel like it definitely needs to be in a foundry.
3D scanning.
3D scanner. Okay, that's good. Take notes, guys. This is coming from a sourcing agent. Okay. What is your secret to calming down when there's a late container?
Yeah, you have to be ready for air freight.
So, but how do you calm yourself down? Is there like some
Yeah,
activity?
this order you make a loss. That's it.
Just like reaffirmation. All right, fine.
Just make, because last week only I have made it.
Right. What is your biggest red flag when visiting a foundry?
Red flag is owner. Like
Owner.
if he is saying, yeah, I am, as I have said to you, it's like if he is not interested in getting the new customers.
So is it arrogance, ignorance,
Not
or
arrogance,
overconfidence?
not ignorance, like committing or overconfident of something
Okay.
which is not matching to the reality of the shop floor.
Correct.
Like if his shop floor is a normal shop floor, and if he's committing, yeah, my casting is much more better than investment casting, you say, okay.
Right. Right. I mean, by now you're already trained to spot these problems as they present themselves. That's nice. Uh, what is the weirdest casting inquiry you've ever received?
Weirdest was for automobile company having 1 mm thickness.
1 mm thickness.
1 mm thickness, and the designer was saying, yeah, we are producing it. I asked for sample, never given a sample.
Nothing came.
Nothing came. I still keep on saying yes. And the second weirdest was in as cast condition, people are asking 70 micron tolerances, and fortunately we managed to make it.
So that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last one is, what's more important in sourcing? Is it experience or good luck?
Experience and discipline.
Experience and discipline.
Not experience, not good luck, discipline.
Okay.
If you are disciplined, it will beat your talent, it will beat your experience.
And the luck.
Luck is at the end of the day, it's not in your hand. So even if you say it, it is not going to work.
Right. So that's good. Anything else you feel like you need to add?
No, I would like to add just one thing regarding what I have understood from you regarding your foundry school. To be honest, I would like to bet on that. I would like to speak little bit on that, and these types of things are much more important. Why, I will tell you. As I have said in my starting also, the more learning starts once you are in profession.
Correct.
So unfortunately, there is no formal school. Okay, there is NIFT, for an example.
Right.
But there is no formal school who will be translating the manufacturing know-how to the new generation or to the current generation also.
Correct.
Like for an example, even people at my age are not technically sound as it used to be earlier generation. If I take my seniors who are now retired, but if I look at them, if I look at the depth of their knowledge, it is much more better than us. They were from IIT, like my mentors or my seniors, Mr. Ramanan, Mr. R.N. Sundarejan. These people, they they are brilliant. They know technologies, they know the science behind the technology. Like Mr. Avinash Joshi, for an example, he knows the science behind. Mr. Ramanan, he is basically very good at basics of the metallurgy. Mr. Dikshit, Mr. R.N. Sundaresan. So these people, they were much more better than us. They are much more better than us. So now we are there. Yes, we are at least learning. And your way of this foundry school is nourishing these experiences to people. See, I will tell you, the biggest luck in my career, when you speak about my luck, was working with these people.
Correct.
It was like 1 year's experience with these guys was equivalent to 10 years experience
Of doing it
if,
alone.
if I would have done it alone.
Right. Right.
And they have taught me a lot, not only for professional life but also on a personal level. So the way in which you are taking up this, like a foundry school, wherein these mentors will come, they will share their experience, they will teach people on technical things, on commercial things, on all the basic aspects, will definitely enrich people, and that will take you to the next level.
Correct.
As I've said, the third important is you can bring technology, but control over technology, the people who are handling technology, if they are smart enough, then your technology gives you multifold benefits. But if you bring just technology and your people are not capable of handling the technology becomes headache. It becomes a liability rather than an asset.
Right.
For an example, you make an automation, but your people are not able to handle the automation, then it will become a liability. It will become an expenses to you rather than getting benefit out of them. But if your people are trained, if your people are knowing the things, and they have to know only their sector, like they have to get in the depth of the topics. Like if somebody is from core shop, if he is getting through your school the details about the basics of the resins, the basic of the hardener, how the process works, what types of coatings, how the coatings are affecting to this, so this will definitely enrich him. And take it from me, how it will affect, it will affect like your reduction in rejection will be there, your development speed will be the faster, your product quality will improve, and that will definitely increase your profitability.
Correct.
So if I would be a foundry man, definitely I will invest in this. And take it from me, even though I am not, I am going to learn from this.
Right. Right.
So that way it has to be done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. And thank you, Mr. Nagesh Dhumma, for
Thank you.
inviting us.
Thank you
and
very
being on the
much
show.
for inviting me. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's been really amazing. I think since we connected at the B2B Meet
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Mumbai,
We
it's
connected
been
in
really
Mumbai.
nice.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And
Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you so much,
thank
and
you.
looking forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.